Well, I think the word you might be looking for, Asda, is whoops. Let's begin. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that nowadays we actually need this little thing called evidence in order to either accuse or convict someone of a crime. I mean, surely we've moved on from the 1600s where we could just say that you're a witch or something like that. Although I've got a feeling that one of the only exemptions to this rule is if you work at Asda, or maybe actually they just didn't get the memo, if this story is anything to go by. I mean, can you just imagine it? You were looking at it and therefore you were thinking of stealing it, weren't you? I've got my eye on you, and if you carry on you'll be sentenced to 100 years of accompanying your wife shopping, so be careful. Well, I heard recently that if you click that subscribe button down there, then you yourself can set the Asda prices, so why not give it a push? The article says that a dad claims he was accused of shoplifting when a store worker mistook his bulge in his trousers for a tube of Pringles. Simon Lee, who's 38, said he was rummaging through his boxer shorts when an Asda employee asked, "Are you going to pay for those crisps?" Furious gas engineer Simon dropped his joggers in the supermarket petrol station in Frost Park, Leicester, to show that he had no cylindrical contraband. He said, "As I was waiting in the queue, I bent down by the Pringles to tie a lace on my shoes. Then as I got up, I adjusted my boxer shorts. This seemed to have led the guy behind the counter to think I was trying to steal something." I don't know about you, but to be honest, I think part of the problem is that shoplifters in general just don't seem to get much of a punishment nowadays. So it seems that quite often, especially, in the run up to Christmas, a few more people might just try to get themselves a five-finger discount rather than pay the price which of course they're meant to. And therefore the shops do need to keep their eye on these people. However, they still should only stop people if they've got some actual evidence that they've seen them do something or looked at the CCTV. And now, obviously, admittedly, this guy was behind the counter, so he might not have been able to, but surely he could have asked a colleague just to nip out and look at the CCTV while the bloke is still waiting in the queue. I mean, it wouldn't have took that long, surely. And of course, there's ways and ways of talking to people. And just outright accusing someone, "Are you going to pay for those crisps?" probably isn't the right way to go about it, is it? And would have probably got the guy's back up. I mean, it would have got my back up. But then again, thinking about it, I also would have been slightly smug, them thinking that my gentleman package might be as long as a can of Pringles. Although in general, I never had a problem at all with the three-legged race. Anyway, in general though, shops do need to be careful when approaching people, either asking or accusing them of stealing something, because if they get it wrong, then they're leaving themselves wide open to be sued or have to pay out some sort of compensation to the customer for embarrassment, if not anything else. And at the end of the day, we've only got this guy's word to go on, so whether or not the employees would have done that, knowing what the consequences might be if they had no evidence, is another matter in general, isn't it? Unless, of course, they thought he actually did have something down his trousers about the same size as a long Pringles tube, or maybe 1.5 size ones. When he approached me, I said, "You can't be serious." But he was. He claimed to check the CCTV. I told him to call the police and I tugged my joggers down to show him that I wasn't hiding anything. He said, "Don't do that, mate." And I replied, "Well, don't accuse people of stealing," with no evidence. Asda said no colleagues at this store are aware of this incident, but asking a customer to remove an item of clothing is something we would never do. Well, to be honest, going by the article, I think he actually done it of his own accord. Out of frustration maybe, but anyway, hopefully they won't start to copy Sainsbury's in this video with their latest minimum charge, because it could actually mean you're paying for something that you might not necessarily need. Anyway, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.